Zero.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
10, 9,
Weekend
8,
countdown.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This program is sponsored by Lightway. Lightway is a simple way. Our specialty is ultralight gear for bright adventures. The basis on which built gear: simplicity, lightness, versatility. We know that gear can be light, functional, and convenient. Lightway lightness is where you are.
The Scrubba wash bag is the world's smallest washing machine and is perfect for apartment living, travel, and camping. Featuring a flexible inner washboard, the pocket-sized Scrubba wash bag allows a machine-quality wash anywhere in just minutes.
Welcome once again to a very interesting interview, where we will learn how to do the HRP as a couple, overcoming vertigo, and successfully completing this impressive challenge not attainable by everyone. So now, I will tell you about my guests for today. Andreas and Veronica's hiking journey began in 2015, when they embarked on the HRP trail as part of their honeymoon. They originally met in New York City, where they resided for around 15 years, before relocating to Germany in 2019. The move brought them closer to the mountains, which have since become a part of their lives. Andreas is a German-American freelance science journalist and multimedia producer, currently based in Berlin and Kleve. He also holds the position of a professor specializing in science communication and cross-media journalism at the Rhine-Wall University of Applied Sciences. Andreas developed a deep appreciation for nature during his upbringing, spending summers hiking the Alps and the Mediterranean island of Corsica and winter skiing. His passion for the outdoors led him to become a national park ranger after high school and later pursue studies in biology. Veronica Semico, a Venezuelan-American designer and art director, works with startups in Berlin and New York. Outside of work, she's an enthusiastic long-distance runner, completing 4 marathons, including races like New York City and Berlin. Despite her coastal upbringing, where weekends were often spent snorkeling by the beach, Veronica has made a transition to the mountains, even conquering her fear of heights along the way.
right in front of us. Okay, we made it. Veronica?
On Andrea's birthday.
Yes, and we are almost dead, but we, as you can see behind us, turn around. This is Ondai. Like the real.
That's very nice.
Yes.
We made it.
Hey, good night, Andreas and Veronica.
What a nice video. You really did a great
I didn't
job.
do anything. You were just the actors. I just mixed it, put a little of music, and that's all. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing night. I have tons of questions, but after all, to you, Veronica, happy birthday, because I saw you spend your birthday 42, I think, was on the candle. So happy birthday to you for that. Andrea, again, happy birthday for you, because you also had your birthday at the end of the route. So congratulations to both of you. Andrea, Veronica, before I let you know, before I ask you who you are, I want to explain to my audience how I met you and why you are here today. Hey, people, thanks for everyone that is watching this video and the one who will watch it later. I just met Andreas and Veronica. Well, I worked in Cortalet shelter before climbing the Canigo. We met there that night. I was there that night, and we just, being honest, I wasn't in the dining table with Michael, with Elric, also sitting that night, and I thought that would be the only one in that table, so we can eat the whole dinner. And then when you arrive to have dinner with us, I was like, shit, we cannot eat the whole dinner. It's okay, but it was a bless. It was a bless because I met you and you are so great. So thank you so much. And now I'm going to ask you, Andrea and Veronica, who are you and why you did the HRP?
Well, I am Veronica and I'm married to Andreas. We met 15 years, no, we met, I don't know, a very long time ago. 2008. Yeah, in New York. And we dated for a while. Eventually we married. But when we married, we decided to do, instead of a wedding, to do a very long vacation, right?
Wow, good.
So we thought, we explore all the things that you can do on a very long vacation. And then he had the idea of hiking, right?
Yeah, so it was this kind of thing where I always wanted to get back to my childhood or to my teenage years, which is basically exactly this kind of thing. And I hadn't done it for a long time, so I wanted to get back to it. And the main thing I wanted to get back to is the part that has to do with the tent, because I would always tell people that the most amazing thing about a tent is not to go to a campsite where people are around you, but to actually do the opposite, to use the tent to be able to go to places where you don't have to come back the same day, but you can actually stay overnight, to go to really remote places. So bivouacking, right? And I always wanted to get back to that, and that's what we did.
Yeah. So then we started exploring different places, and we thought that this would be the one that would suit our needs better, because it wasn't like, it's generally speaking, to go and do the HRP or the GR11 or the GR10, it's not that complicated. You don't have to go to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Get acclimated and things like this. You can, more or less from New York, yes, you have to readjust with time, but then you can start hiking within 3 days or something. So
Okay.
yeah, so we first did that first hike, and then we fell in love, and then we came back many years.
Okay.
Again and again and again and again.
Okay. But Andrea, Veronica, that story was very nice, but I want details. For example, Because let me tell you, in my interviews, Andreas and Veronica, this interview won't be like, "Hey, Andrea, tell me." No. It's like a friend talk. So let's start. Andrea, when you got married with Veronica, you decide that you want to connect with your childhood or teenager age. Perfect. But I mean, Andrea, how do you manage to explain to your new wife, honey, you know what? Instead going to Paris to the Torre Eiffel, or instead of going to a cruise ship from the Caribbean, I want to go in a tent. How do you present that idea to Veronica? Because it's not an easy one.
Yeah. So actually, the very first vacation we had together was in Maine, right?
Yes,
and that was on a campsite, and that was kind of not that great, right? Because it was basically we were surrounded by people, and it was just like it was this national park, and everything is
in the United States.
It was in the U.S. and Maine, and for some reason, Veronica didn't hate it enough to say no. I don't really know why.
Because I am like this. I do things.
Why did you not say no? Because Veronica grew up as a beach person. Did I get that right? Yes. And we always went snorkeling before that and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah. So then, but another thing, to be honest, is like for the honeymoon, we did say.
Oh yes, very important.
It is true that the first part was hiking, and I said, well, but we're going to take a week.
Yes.
In Greece.
That was the negotiation.
I got it. So you make an agreement. Okay.
Yes, there is negotiation.
Okay.
Hilarious enough was that after we did I booked all the thing in Greece and I found the island that I liked, etc. I think my research was not so great because the only thing that you could do in this island was to hike again. So
it was Niceros.
It only has a volcano. That's it.
Oh my god! So it's like so that honeymoon is like that. It was a totally dream come true for Andreas, and it was like everything. And let me ask you, Andreas and Veronica, there's three paths that cross from the Mediterranean to the Cantabric Sea. So, I mean, there's the GR10, it's the GR11, and it's the HRP. The GR10 from France, the GR11 from Spain, and the HRP that is all the time in the top of the mountains. So, why do you choose the HRP instead of the GR11 or the GR10?
Because Andreas liked tough things.
Oh, I got it.
And he was convinced that I could do it. So
okay, well, and I need to explain to him.
He's like, no, it has to be the HRP.
Okay. Andrea and Veronica, and I need to explain to my audience, the one who is watching us, that it's totally true. Because that night when I met you, the both of you, I remember that Andrea, there's the campsite where all the 10 were together. And Andrea told me, no, we are totally far away. We are alone in the darkness. Wow, okay. but I was in my mind, what he's talking about. Maybe he's very close to us. But the next day that I saw your tent, you were like, I don't know, 1 kilometer far away. I mean,
Oh, you saw it?
Andrea, yeah. I was scared of shit to camp, to put my tent and sleep along my tent, So I want to be around everybody, but no, you were like far away. Jesus Christ.
I have so many stories about this, especially in the beginning, because I will get I would get so afraid. I'm a person of the city. I grew up in a city and then I moved to New York, I have always been around people. And now, no, but like in the beginning years, I would hear everything. Those first nights on the tent were like a nightmare. I couldn't sleep. I would think that there was a robber. Once,
yes.
I don't know, I couldn't fall asleep. And then I hear something. I imagine a cow or something, right? But obviously me.
Well, you were peeing, right?
Yeah,
outside. You were outside.
Yeah, I was peeing or something.
It was 4 a.m. or something.
And then I hear the movement. I hear noise and I see movement.
Next to you, yeah.
And I run and I go myself, I throw myself inside the tent. And I'm like, Andrea goes, like, what's your problem? And she's like, I am like, a robber. And he's like, there are no robbers here.
We are far away, you know, Veronica. We are far away. There's no rubber here.
It's probably a cow.
Yeah, I don't know. But I was so scared. So, like, now I think about it, it's like so silly, you know?
Yes, but the silence.
But the silence is very difficult to get used
and
to.
also the big space, that there is this huge space, and at first you feel like you're being watched, but
Yes.
then it's very hard to adjust to this sort of like, and once you have adjusted to it, it's really hard to, when you come back, to adjust to the enclosed space. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. It's true. And when you're in the HRP, you are more lonely because there's not many people doing the HRP. And actually, if you saw all the videos and pictures from what you just sent me, you were alone the whole time. So it's not normal.
Yeah. Most of the time, we try to find a place where this guy, but there are so that many people around because we want to be in quiet. You know, also,
Okay.
like, funny enough, since we're talking about the tent stuff, also, is that I have found it, I keep on telling this to Andrea. Sometimes, you know, like, you do tent nights, and then sometimes we go and sleep in a hotel, or we go or an Airbnb or something, right?
Okay.
That's a nice photo. And so I end up sleeping better inside the tent, which is so
Yeah.
strange to me, because I am so used to this is like my little corner, you know, and I know that I'm going to sleep well there. Like when you go to a new hotel,
That's the old tent. That's the
that's
old tent.
yeah.
In the beginning, we had a really shitty tent.
Yeah, yeah. This is like we all know this. I'm pretty sure you do this exercise. Dry under the socks. Yeah, but like I end up sleeping better in the tent. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's true. For me, it happened the same. And let me tell you, from the HRP, which one were your favorite parts? The one that, if I need to tell you, please give me your best spot from the whole route. Which one came to your mind?
The spot that you just showed with the sun is probably with the double sun in the lake. The problem is I don't quite recall. That's like early. Yes, that one. That's probably one.
That
of the
one.
Yeah.
That's like next to a hut in the first year. So that's between Lescan and
Salén de
Salén de Gallego, in between the two. Yes. And that there's this one hut that the name escapes me right now, but that's at the lake, directly at the lake. And the amazing thing is, in one of the other pictures, you can see that basically our tent was there was like a huge flat area without anyone except for the lake, and then our tent, and then nothing, and then a few hundred meters after that there was the hut. So we basically had the entire lake for us, and this kind of view was what we woke up to. That was probably one of my most favorite, and then Gavarnie probably too.
Gavarnie is also very.
It's very impressive.
Oh, Gavarnie, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Andrea, Veronica, in Gavarnie, did you went to the huge? Hey, that one is very good, Andreas.
I threw away my sandals because they were too heavy. In the first year, we had no idea what we were doing, so we were too heavy.
Yeah, we have too many things.
That's another question that I will ask you. I will ask you later. And let me ask you, in Gavarnie, did you went to the huge waterfall, the famous one?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
That should
That's
be
part of the route.
impressive.
It's beautiful. Gavarnie is really one of the highlights, I would say.
Yeah, but it also got really scary because it started to rain when we were like in the middle of once you go up that to the hut there, it's like very rocky and very steep, and it started to rain, so we couldn't go back and we couldn't go forward, so we had to stay.
Yeah.
And then so that was a bit scary, but we made it, so that was good. Right.
But Andrea, but let me ask you, is it started raining when you were going down, for example, from Goritz shelter to the bottom, or after Goritz, the shelter of Goritz in Monte Perdido? What exactly started to rain?
That I don't remember.
I mean,
I don't think it was coming from Monte Perdido. Maybe we were going to Monte Perdido.
Okay,
Yeah.
because for
That day
example,
we had slept in the town of Gavarnie. That I
okay,
remember. Mhm.
because for example, let me show you. Are you
Ah,
in my screen?
Yeah.
Muy ole,
Yeah, yeah.
But it's wait, Monte
You're so good.
here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
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 So,
Okay.
for example, Monte Perdido is here. Gavarnie.
Wait, love that mountain, Monte Perdido. It's just so great.
Let me see.
Go, we need to go up to. Do you have the GPX trail of?
Okay. Here. Take a look. This is, for example, this is the waterfall, the waterfall from Gavarnie, right?
Yeah.
Gavarnie town is here.
Yeah.
So, from where you were coming from? From this side or from this side? No, from this side, right?
I think so.
Yeah, from Gawani, the bottom of the valley, and then we walked up to the.
Then we were going this way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, correct.
And then yes, and then up to the right. Yes.
Okay,
and then going to the right. Yes.
Okay. Now, okay. Now I got it. Wow. So having a rain over there, yeah, to the right. Yeah. Now I see what exactly it is. So yeah, it's dangerous. And did you felt, Andrea and Veronica, that your life were in danger in any moment in that moment? Or how do you handle it? Because and now I heard in your story, Andrea, that you have a lot of experience in the mountains.
Yes, but you still have to be very careful. And as you know, like if you get injured, then you don't want to get injured, and because then you can't get out, right? So it's always like on our minds that that we really need to avoid that. So we are very careful actually, and that's why we got a GPS and all this kind of stuff. So you really have like a lot of redundancy to really make sure that we know exactly where we are. The other problem we had in Gavarnie was actually because of the many walls. There were like reflection of the GPS signal of the walls, and
Yes.
and whenever you have that, there were some issues with navigation. Yes, we eventually had enough experience to not trust it all the time. But of course, sometimes with the HRP, as you probably know, there's no signs, nothing at all. It's just basically like there's not even any path, right? So you have to be really careful.
No internet also with the phone.
Yeah, and a few meters can make a big difference. So
yeah.
Did you felt at any moment that you were lost because you don't have signal in the GPS and you were lost and you were like where I should go, or you were having everything under control?
There was this one day when we were in a rock field. We were bouldering. Veronica loves bouldering.
No.
Going to boulder fields. No. And we literally had no idea where the route would go, and then it was like an angel from heaven, some other person who walked the HRP actually.
Because like you said too, right? You just said that there is not that many people walking the HRP. So when there is no route, you're like, okay, I don't know where to go.
Exactly, it's true.
The GPS is not working, and obviously there is no cell phone or anything. You kind of like have to paper everything. Like brújula, I don't remember the name. Compass.
Compass.
Yeah, so you're like guessing.
Wow.
But then we saw this guy and totally saved us. That was very
nice. It was one of these things where basically there was no there was really literally no path, and it actually said that you have to go up that really steep hill, and there was nothing on that hill. There was literally nothing, and there wasn't supposed to be anything. There was not even. Sometimes you just have this, and it changes. The conditions change every year, so you need to be careful if you plan going hiking the HRP. There's this guy, what's his name, Peter Forrest or something, and he's from the UK, and we always get his updates, and you get his GPX track, and then he always he's there. He goes back every year, and he basically updates whenever there is a change.
Okay.
We also know this from Ecuador. Sometimes, in Ecuador, when you were in Ecuador, then the GPX trail was still the same, but the path was gone because of rain. So that was also like very scary. So it can happen.
Yeah. So there was like you have to go there, but there was no path. So we're like, okay, we have to go there, but how are we gonna go there?
Yeah.
It was
my
a
God.
very difficult, but we made it.
But Andrea, Veronica, let me ask you. I mean, in a moment like that, that you were like, where I should go, don't you thought at any moment like, hey, honey, you know what? Let's move to the GR10, or let's move to, because this is getting complicated. Do you have that thought in your mind at any moment?
No.
I do. I do.
You do.
I do. But sometimes, the thing is like normally, so like the things that you mentioned before,
Yeah.
I am afraid of heights, right? Or I was.
Yeah.
I overcame this a little bit. I think I'm doing it better now. But my problem was at the right there at the moment, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
like if there is going to the year 10 or the year 11, I still have to pass this moment.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
true.
so they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely not going back.
Exactly, Veronica. And after you just pass that, why will move to the to the
GR10.
GR10 if you already passed that? So yeah, I totally
Exactly.
understand.
Exactly. But trust me, like there was some parts on, especially I think. So there are some parts at the end of the trail this time where you could go a little bit faster if you went to some places, and I am like, let's do this. But there are some people that are very methodic in this couple. It's like, no, that's not the trail that we're going.
The bad weather variants. I usually go down to the GR10 or 11, depending on which side of the mountains you're on. So
if there are bad weather, we always do that.
I mean, we had those, and we were prepared to go those. We had the routes.
That is also true. We like in case of bad weather, yes. But like the only thing that made me think twice is mostly the height. But in bad weather, we always play safe. Yeah.
Okay.
We always play safe in bad weather.
So talking about the heights, I have a question, but let's finish the weather topic. Okay, I saw in the video that you had like 2-3 days raining. Okay, perfect, not a problem. But what happened? Since I live here in Barcelona, the Pyrenees is maybe 1 hour and 20 minutes from my house, so I go a lot of time to the Pyrenees. And what happened? The weather in the Pyrenees in August, after the 15th on August, it's a mess. After 2-3 o'clock, I mean, in the morning it's a beautiful sun, a beach sun, and then 2-3, blah, everything changed. So and a lot of thunderstorm and all that. So my question is, did you suffer any thunderstorm scare moment that you were shit? Oh my God! By the face of both of you, and Andrea, that is so positive, is shaking his head like that. What happened, Andrea? What happened?
It's really, really dangerous and extreme, and it can change in minutes, literally. And that's what everybody needs to know. Who's never done this before. You need to prepare for everything, including hail. So basically, one of the first nights, actually, we as we started. So it's like after Lescun, you go up from Lescun to Refuge Allée, it's called, I think. And we basically barely saw the refuge. It was in the fog, and that's when we did our honeymoon. And the honeymoon was basically like in the beginning of September, which we now consider is too late in the year to really do the Pyrenees, the HRP.
If we are going for that long, right? If you are going for a day, it's
And then basically the next day we couldn't go because so we started to walk the next day. But then we basically had like a thunderstorm, like a lightning was basically coming in right next to us. It was really scary, and it was basically horizontal rain. It was not rain. It was horizontal rain. We could not walk.
It was under our clothes.
We returned to refuge, and we had to wait for one day. There was no way. We couldn't do it. And another time there was hail.
There's many times when there is
hail. There was hail that came down on our tent.
I don't mind if it rains at night. Or if it rains after we had done our food, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., it can rain all you want.
Okay.
As long as it stops at 3 a.m. so the tent dries, and then we can pick it up the next day, and then we're fine.
Yeah, but you need to have good.
Like
good
the
tents.
problem is like when you're walking and there's like,
Yeah.
which we don't actually.
There was
We have spent days, like half days inside the tent waiting for the rain to go. If it is too stormy, if it is too stormy, because what are we gonna go there and get ourselves in danger for?
The tent is the safest space sometimes, it's the safest spot.
So
you
we just
need
sit
to
there.
stay put, and then that's the best way to do it. Yeah.
And Andrea, Veronica, and I saw that your second tent is a very good brand. So
Yes.
I understand you don't have any water leaking or water inside your tent. No, yeah, it was very good.
Best investment
Fantastic
ever.
tent.
Yeah, best investment ever.
There's a question I need to ask you, because I have asked this question to all my guests and everybody, and it's what to do when you are in a thunderstorm. And everybody say, no, you have to turn off all your devices. And I say, okay. And then if you have your trekking pole, throw it away. And I say, okay. And then continue walking. And I ask the same question to my guests. Okay, but if I throw away my trekking pole and just continue walking, I will be without my trekking pole. When are we going to go back to pick it up? Oh, yes, no, it's true. And I say, if I turn off all my electronic devices because of the thunderstorm, where am I going to see my truck where it is? So you as a professional, Andrea, and you, Veronica, that suffered that, what's your best advice when you are in the middle of a thunderstorm inside a tent, or you're walking and you have a thunderstorm? And what's your best advice? Please don't tell me to throw my trekking pole away and turn off my GPS. Tell me your good advice as a professional, Andreas and Veronica.
I would probably say like go to another higher structure where you're like underneath that. So basically try to go somewhere where something else is higher. And,
so like under a rock or like
very important to not be
or
exposed.
a tree or something.
Yes, and maybe not a tree, but
maybe not a tree.
Yes, actually, because a tree is dangerous.
Yeah, because I forgot that we were talking about thunderstorm.
But,
sorry.
Okay. Yes, so that will be the first, but obviously, ideally not be in that thunderstorm in the first place. And if you know the weather, you always know that it can actually, if people say by 3 p.m., by 6 p.m., there's going to be weather, and you definitely need to be early that day and put up before then. I mean, once the wind was so strong that the 1 liter water bottle flew away.
No.
Yes. This is
actually three water bottles.
They were
3 water bottles.
Like
because we have one that is a filter, and then the one that each one of us carry. So we normally keep them, in between the two tents, like the outside and the inside. We put them in there, so in case that something breaks, we don't want the leakage inside the tent.
Yeah.
And there was one horrible storm. Like, first of all, the whole night it was like we couldn't sleep anything, because it was like if you were in a washing machine.
Oh my God.
It was really bad. And then we wake up in the middle of the night. No, we wake up now. We just stood up to pee because we couldn't fall asleep. And then I say, Andreas, the water bottles are not here. Freak out. So we were like in the middle of the storm looking for the bottles everywhere. Thankfully, we found them, but that was scary.
Oh my God. Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah, another time there was horizontal hail.
Yeah, too.
Horizontal hail. That was actually, we were just above Yavor Sea. That was up from Yavor Sea. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to get over the pass past Yavor Sea, and there was a cloud on the other side of the valley, and we were like, yeah, that's far away, no problem. And like 20 minutes later, or no, 5 minutes later, the cloud was right above us, and it was basically like horizontal hail, and that ended our. We couldn't. We were so wet. It was so like bad, and early in the day that we decided we're not going to continue. We're just going to stop. We didn't do that call anymore. It ended even the tree that we were on. It didn't really save us. So that's one of those examples. Like a little short-term extreme weather can really, really damage your plans.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, totally true. And Andrea, Veronica, talking about now the meals and the food in the HRP. To again, let me explain again to my audience, because my main audience in the United States, and they just understand what the HRP is. People, there's 3 paths, like I said before, that go from the Mediterranean to the Cantabric. The one is GR11 from the Spain side, the GR10 from the French side, and what they did, that is for the elite, that is all in the top of the mountain. What happened, Andrea and Veronica? That is my huge question. How do you manage to get all your food and all your water that you will be using in your trip, because you never cross a town? I mean, how do you manage? Because this is a big problem. For example, when I made you, I was doing the GR10 with HRP. I mean, I have like 80 liters backpack, huge one, very weight, and I only have food for 5 days and water. And for me, it was a mess. For you both, how do you manage that? Because it's a very difficult question.
Yeah.
We do a lot of planning. These are Andrea's drawing.
Okay. So there is this, we do like for every day, we do like a plan. And I don't know, is this actually
yes, I can see it.
And it's basically for every day there's a plan, and basically every day on the plan we have kind of like, where are we going to walk, how many hours is it going to be, and especially will there be a meal possibility at a hut. If there is no meal possibility at a hut, I put like no meal, and that means we have to bivouac without meals, and that means we need food for that entire day, and then we plan it all out for every day until and then we count the days between meal options, either a supermarket where we have a little village or a hut, and then for that many days in between that we count, we have to like carry the food, and then we know we don't have for the whole time, but we only have until the next supermarket, and we subtract the hat, so that actually makes it much easier. So it's never more than like 3-4 days. And per day we use this Decathlon Expedition. The dried expedition food is kind of like 250 grams per day.
150.
100 per person.
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway,
dehydrated.
it's not much. Just dehydrated. Add the water in a pouch. So the main weight goes towards the water, and then we calculate how much water do we need per day, and this is usually 2 liters.
This year when we met, there was this heat wave.
Then we need 3
and
per
we
day.
like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. It was just insane. Also because it would get warm before you drank it all, and then you're like drinking hot water.
And then the other thing is the cooking, of course. The weight with the cooking is important. So we chose to go with a alcohol burner, so ethanol. It uses ethanol. And you can also build these things yourself. So for 2 of the years, we actually built it ourselves out of a Foster
like
can.
a beer can.
And it's important. It has to be Australian Foster beer because it has bigger beer
because
cans.
it's a fat beer can.
Well, yes. Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah, so like
And
we
you cut
cook
it
on
open
this, and it is
And
very
you make
good.
holes in it, and you can put alcohol in it. It's like an alcohol burner that only weighs like 150 grams.
Yes, and then we can buy it. The good thing with the alcohol burner is alcohol is so easy to buy in a pharmacy.
Yeah.
In any little
anywhere.
town, so it's very accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And per day you need about 125 milliliters for everything in alcohol. So per day.
So it's very light.
Exactly. But this is a question that I have. And as two made from alcohol, I mean, I don't know, maybe with the strong wind, how do you manage that it can boil a water or to cook? Because with the strong wind, I can imagine the flame of the alcohol being so weak.
Oh God! You remember when you were asking me how long I've been cooking there? Like, why are so many photos of me cooking? It's because I'm waiting for the water to boil.
Yeah.
It also we put like a flame,
like a berry,
aluminum foil around it. But it depends on the wind. And some days very easy and it goes very fast, and some days you just have to pray to the gods. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that's another point that Veronica, I always saw you cooking the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but you're a real good chef. So Andrea, you ate very good in your trail. You were cooking the whole time, and it's so funny because in some part of the video you were like alone in your world, Veronica. Like you were so concentrated cooking that I was thinking, wow, she has to be a good chef. Well, what a good for
I'm just
Andreas.
boiling water.
Okay. It was boiling the water. Okay, perfect. Okay, I got it. You know,
Actually, we
and
went from lots of luxury in the cooking to much less luxury. So we actually we don't do the thing anymore. Chorizo was very important. Chorizo, right? To
Sausage.
put in there, sausage.
the sausage.
And then
Okay.
like the truffle oil and everything, and cheese. Initially, we had cheese, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore. So now it's just
It's just like the luxury goes when we go to the huts.
yeah.
And-
No, no,
luxury in between,
Yes, because we have realized that with time, actually the first year around, we already decided we need to cut in weight because it just makes you, it just suffer so much, you
Yeah,
know?
it's true. Yeah, it's
Like
true.
carrying that thing, you're no burro, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You're not a donkey. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay. So like the lighter we are, the happier we are. We don't need to be running, but at least it's comfortable.
So we weigh everything, every single item that goes into the backpack is weighed, and we have it in an Excel sheet, in a sheet, and then we add it all up. So our base weight is now down to 8 kilograms.
8
Yes,
kilos, yeah.
and that's so without water and food, 8 kilograms. Yes,
8
7 for me,
kilograms.
yeah,
7 for me, 8 for him.
Yeah.
That's the base
Andrea,
weight.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kilograms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
We really
My-
cut everything. So you don't want to smell our armpits when we are hiking. I'm joking.
Veronica, and Andrea, my backpack was weighing maybe 20, 21 kilograms. So it was
You're
huge.
crazy.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do it.
You know what the problem is? I'm huge, I'm big, and one raincoat for me is huge. Even it's ultralight, it's huge. My pants it's huge. You know, so and you were too. You can mix the weight
Right.
between.
This is
I was
Yeah, that makes
alone.
it easier. Exactly.
Exactly. So it's complicated. Now I have prepared a video, and I would like to ask you, because I choose like the one that I have something to ask you about this video. God bless you, Veronica. So let me get the video, and I will be continue doing this. Let me see. Okay. This part is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. I mean, waking up with that sunshine or sunset, I don't know what it is very beautiful. So
Sunrise.
with here, I don't have sunrise. Wow, it's very good. Okay, Andrea, I'm afraid of cows. I'm afraid of horses. I'm afraid of everything. Actually, Andrea, me and my beautiful wife, we have an agreement, and it is that I will protect her from men's robbery and all that, and she will protect me from cows, horses, ghosts, insects, and all that. So I mean, how do you get there? I mean, because that horse is like 3 times you. So how do you get there, Andrea? Explain that to me.
I don't know. I just don't think that animals they don't want to do anything to you, and also like this stuff, like when people say that, I heard this from a friend, he would never go in a tent in the mountains because he has heard that there must have been this one case when like a cow fell on a tent and somebody died. I think that's really not stuff like that. I mean,
Doesn't happen.
it's just not. No, there's no reason to be afraid of them. It's like the opposite, and they should be afraid of us.
I think as long as you don't go running or like,
Okay.
stress them out.
They're all so incredibly peaceful. I think once you interact with them, you just feel, you feel that.
Okay. Okay.
I have a comment, a little story about animals if you want it later.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
the boar story.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
one of the last
Yes,
days this
okay,
year,
that's-
we
that's-
are in this terrible heat.
We were afraid. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
we were afraid.
terrible heat, And then we had to stop and we put the tent whatever it could because we couldn't think. We were like, we have to be in the shade, whatever. So very hot, and we put the tent. And Andrea says, Veronica, I think there is an animal there. A big animal. And I am like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean by big? Like big like
Yeah.
this or big like a horse?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it cannot be big because if it was a horse, they would be like, ooh, they would do horse sounds. And cows, they normally have a bell.
Yeah.
So I am trying to we're trying to figure out, and then me being the terrified person that I am, and I'm thinking it's a bear. It's a bear. But then we research because at this point there was internet and there are no bears in the Pyrenees. So we're like, okay, there is no bears. So we start like Googling. So then we hear this freaking animal. Sorry, no freaking.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can say any word you want. Don't worry.
So the animal, he was like, or she, I don't know, they were like reorganizing the entire forest because you could feel that it was grabbing like.
Yeah, it felt like a really big thing that was basically like decided to rearrange the entire forest.
Yeah, so it was moving stuff from one side
and
to the other.
dark. So he could only hear it at the dark. And then it came closer. Can you imagine that? It came closer. And then it came like around the tent.
Around the
and
tent.
It was like really, I mean, we were like on a rock, but still it was kind of like, oh my God, now it's coming, now it's coming. And
so hold on. So this is before it completely dark. At this moment, there was a little bit of light.
Yes, just a
so
tiny bit of light.
So we're like, okay, we need to sleep because there is no way of no sleeping. So let's grab all the
food. You are very brave, Veronica, because I cannot sleep with a strange sound like that without knowing which animal it is.
Exactly. Well, I thought I will try to sleep, but we need to like make peace with something, So we grab all the food and we put it very high on the tree because we watch it in a movie.
No, very good. This is what you have to do. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and the trash too. So like there was no investigation of that animal. And then we sit on the bed. And the animal is just like basically like sitting right there.
No, wait. No, that's not true.
No, sorry, that's not true.
No. What happened was then Veronica fell asleep. And then,
I fell asleep.
I don't know why. I don't know how she could
because in the tent I can fall very well.
Exactly, Andrea.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants to sleep.
And then I kept looking outside, and then like an hour later, another animal, which is basically two cows. But by that time, I know what cows sound like when they're like eating right next to the tent, like when they grab the grass and everything, and the heavy breathing and everything. So I know exactly what it sounds like. So then it was like two cows that were right next to the tent, and then I was like, okay, there are two cows.
But before it was a boar.
The thing before was not cows; it was something else. So it was a boar or something else.
Yeah. But we slept.
That was between Las Islas and Las Islas, right?
Between Las Islas.
No, that was before Las Islas. Yeah, that was right before Las Islas, on the way to Las Islas.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh my God.
That was so scary. We were like, this is the end. This is when we die.
Veronica, I don't believe you that you were scared because you just slept. And the poor Andrea was trying to figure out what to do. Being honest, I was shitting in my pants. So yeah, for sure. After you see this horse, this is like a little cat for you, Andrea. So yeah, it's a little cat. Okay, let's continue. That area. What exactly was that area?
Veronica's having fun.
I don't remember, to be honest.
See, the problem is it's like all like years apart, so it's a little tricky to know.
Yeah. This is last year for sure. It's like somewhere in Andorra for sure.
Grab that
wow, because it looks dangerous. And that mark is the GR10 or the GR11?
Yeah, that's one of the two. Actually, I'm not sure which one.
I think that's a year 10.
You have to look up on the.
What is it like? One is yellow and the other one is white,
actually,
right?
No,
both of them are white and and red. The one that is yellow is because the white and red means GR, that is in Spanish is gran recorrido. In English would be long track. The one that is yellow is from PL, that is pequeño recorrido, short local. But near Andorra and France, there's a yellow and blue signs that is High Pyrenean, but it just in that area. So, but that one that you're seeing there could be GR11 or could be GR10.
Yeah.
I could not tell you.
But it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, really looks really dangerous.
From the cliff.
Now this is the Shimey. This is Shimey going to the Peak Canigo. Yeah. Do you know? Let me explain. Do you know that there's many dead in that part?
No, tell us. I mean, yes, tell us, because I know that the mountain upwards from Yavorsi, there were dead people last year, and so anyway. But yes, what did you hear?
Yeah. No, this is the real story. There's a British guy that was hiking in that moment. But what happened? That what happened? It was hiking in the part that we just saw where you were climbing. And what happened? It happens that it was raining. It was not snowing, but when it's cold and it's rain, there's like give me a second, Andrea, because I don't know how to say in English. Que hay parte de hielo congelada, Andrea, en la piedra. ¿Cómo tú dices en inglés?
Okay, so they're like, it's like black ice.
Black ice, yeah, in the rocks. And this British man just resbaló, slipped and died. And he died immediately. And there's a Spanish couple, maybe like 2-3 years ago, that they died over there exactly in the same condition. They just fall down and they kill themselves. And I will tell you this story. It's in Spanish, but I have subtitles in English. 1 week ago, I interviewed a couple just like you that they're Spanish, and they managed to their passion is to travel all around the world visiting the natural parks, and they hike a lot. They are like professional. And I met them because back in the June 10th, I was hiking the Canigo also. But it was at the end. Also, when I started climbing the Shimey, it started raining, a huge storm came, and we decided to abort and all that. And at that moment, I'm Christian, and I believe in God, and I believe in the able. So I believe in all that. And at that moment, I felt uncomfortable at that moment. So we just decided to turn around. I knew the story. What happened? This partner that I just interviewed last weekend, you can see that interview, they were climbing the Canigo. And this man, the husband, was explaining, and it's in the video, that he said, when I started climbing exactly where I saw you that, Andrea, I was petrified. I felt like a bad energy, and he don't believe in God or anything. And he was looking at, and he said, I felt like an energy, and I was freeze. What happened? There's a lot of people behind me, like, hey, what happened? What happened? And he said, Jordi, suddenly, without and I'm getting a pelo de gallina, and he said, suddenly, I saw a man, a hiker, a young man that was standing in front of me. But I never saw nobody in front of me because I was the first climbing. And he appeared from nowhere, and we started screaming like, go ahead, you can do it. And Jordi, I was petrified of what I was seeing, because I said, from where this guy come from? Because there's no way. And he said that everybody was behind him, and his wife was telling me, honey, move fast, because if not, I will fall down now. I will die. Please move. And he said, Jordi, I don't know how. I just felt a hand that hold my hand and take me to the top. And suddenly, I never saw that man anymore. So I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was true. I don't know if it was my imagination. And he was explaining that. So this is what I asked you. How do you manage to climb that? Because going the Shimey, it's as you can see, it's not an easy path. How do you felt, Andrea and Veronica, climbing that?
Yeah, so it's very, very, very important to not freak out about to only focus on what's ahead of you, and I think you mastered that now. Like right, the last time you said that, right? You only when you were there and that Kanigu thing, you did that, and it was actually great. You never looked back.
But
right?
like the important thing is to not look down.
Yeah, don't look down.
Yeah, like the most important thing is just to focus, because you really need to focus where to put your hands, right? So if you focus on this, then you're fine. But you look down, forget about it.
And do not do these things when it's raining. Just don't.
Yeah, no. Also
That's
with
really
eyes,
important.
I don't think that's a good idea. Like
No,
imagine this is slippery. Yeah.
And by the way, I looked it up. The previous one was actually Estani. The previous one you showed.
The primer
That was
Estani.
Primer Estani, yes.
Okay.
I just
Maybe
looked it up.
Estani Andorra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, just wanted to-
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, because there's this climb, also this image that I say, wow, it's so vertical. It is, and it is also have the white and red, so it's a GR10, GR11, and it's so vertical. And now, Andrea, no, it's Veronica. You will film the huge recipe just below.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at that moment I wasn't moving, you see. So if I am also my mistake, this was a few years ago. So this is my mistake. I look down. I should not make that part of the video.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I think you just learned the lesson. And and now there's another part of the video. Okay, this one, I love this part because I just imagine myself, with the heat, your fingers sweating, and then putting everything in cold water. Wow, should be an amazing. Do you remember? Where was that?
I'm looking it up now. Maybe I can tell you, but right now I can't. 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I really think that we were coming down from like Monte Perdido, puede ser.
Monte Perdido. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I remember that it was like some huge thing that we did, and then we're like, okay, we have to cross this with water.
Okay, perfect. Now, please.
Oh, this story.
Explain it, because this should be a behind story behind this dead cow. Let's see it. And then you need to explain me that.
So this is in a mountain called something Águila. That's what I remember, that there are a lot of eagles there, right?
Okay.
Don't ask me exactly where it is, but I just remember that was the case, right? That it was called Águila, and there were a lot of eagles on top.
Oh, yes?
Yes. Well, in the mountain there's a lot of eagles, but especially in this area. So we're walking down this path, and then we see a lot of birds, like eating, like crazy. So we start like walking, and of course, the moment we come in, they separate a little bit. They go away as we're walking through, and then we see what they were eating, and it was this poor cow. But I think at that point, like they didn't leave because of us. It was just because there was nothing else to eat. Because
exactly, it was empty.
It's just like they literally left the bone and the leather, and that's it.
Yeah, and this is what's so amazing about this nature. You really are in nature. There's nothing between you and nature. You are out there, and that's how nature works. And the amazing thing is, it's like so incredibly efficient. Nothing would just be wasted. It was just everything is used.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's true. I was impressed when I watched that. And now this part of the video, I have to say that I love it, and I heard it many times because the sound is very nice. Let me wait. It's very nice because I am sitting in my house with the air condition, very relaxed. But I don't know if I want to be in your pants at that moment. Let me show you.
Oh yeah. I found it so adorable.
Veronica, what do you think about the cows?
I find them cute.
Okay. Good.
The sound is wow, so relaxed. Now your face is very good, Veronica.
Because they were coming closer. They were right.
Yeah, they were really right there. They came basically with the their mouth was right next to the tent.
Okay. And Andrea looks so relaxed, with her legs crossed, like chilling.
Yeah, look at me. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
You see, Veronica, you always are
It's right there,
surrendered.
right there.
Oh my God.
They were so close by.
Oh my God.
You know that to be honest, it's not that I was afraid they were not gonna they're not gonna bite you. But I'm like, when are these cows gonna move? Like, when are we gonna make our food and eat?
Yeah, because we couldn't do anything, right?
Like, I am not gonna go out and make food and chill outside. Well, I mean, in the beginning we couldn't because it was raining, but yeah.
So this was like up from Hospitality to the Andorra.
Okay, yeah, I know it is. Now, Andrea, Veronica, this is not a cow. This is a bull. So,
yes, okay, you're right.
So bull fighter. I don't know. There are no cats.
Okay.
That little detail I didn't check out.
Being honest, in a moment like that, I will be calling for my wife. Honey, come to save me. But anyway, at least the horse. Okay, no, serious moment. Veronica, this is only for you. Can you tell me what the hell you were cooking the whole video? Because you were cooking the whole time, and what impressed me is how serious your face is. You are like very concentrated, and then you say it's done. So
By meaning it went off again.
What?
Yeah, by meaning it's off again. I'm trying to boil water.
That's exactly what you were asking. How about the wind, right? And this was one of those cases where we had to try 3-4 times until it finally remained. I mean, but it's not really. Yeah, okay. It's annoying.
This because I think that was the day after the cows.
okay,
Right. So it had been stormy. And then this morning, we are like, oh my God, this is not turning on. When are we going to start walking? We're just making breakfast. We just want to eat to go.
we need to move. Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
can I ask,
exactly what I was doing.
by any chance, do you remember what did you have for breakfast that day?
We always have the same for breakfast.
Which is coffee and cookies.
So we have this coffee milk powder.
Like I don't know.
Cappuccino powder, no?
Like Nestle cappuccino that you buy.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
That's what we normally bring. And then we eat some variation of cookies, whatever we have that day.
Alcohol went through again.
Okay, perfect. Let's continue. Now, okay, this is the shiny just from the top. And it looks very dangerous. Actually, Andrea and Veronica, I have to tell you, after I met you, the next day, I decided with Wilkie to come to try to go down the shiny. But when I realized how big my backpack was, and I was, at that moment, because, my wife told me, Jordi, you can't go there to hike, but you have a wife and you have 2 daughters. And at that moment, my daughters and my wife just came to my head. And I said, you know what? I prefer to walk like 22 more kilometers. That is why we hike, that to go here, because I could die myself. I could die myself because going down is very.
To be honest, after that day, I remember that you were coming after. I was thinking, like, how is Jordi going to come with his huge backpack? This is very difficult to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, for me, it's very important if you can let me know where this place is. Do you remember?
Yeah, the metadata of the site now is not there. Hold on 1 second. I have to check which year was it on.
I think this is again near Monte Perdido. I have the feeling because this is this area that has so many stones all the time.
Yeah.
And you can see that my face, it's fake happiness.
No, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You were like trying to kill Andreas. Yeah, for sure. I can see that in your face.
I have to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Don't
check.
I'm trying to remember where this was.
Don't worry, Andrea. If you remember someday, you can let me know, and it's gonna be great. Don't worry.
I found it. It's like.
This is what we just did.
Yes, it's it's in 1 second.
And it is
Ludonville, was?
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Yes. What I was correct. It's near Monte Perdido because it's near Possets.
Yeah, near Possets.
Okay. Near Possets. Okay. And that downhill that you just made, it was dangerous because it looks dangerous.
Yes, it was. It was very in the beginning, high up on top. Then becomes the stones became bigger, but high on top, it was a scree, so like little stones.
Yeah.
Oh my
God! And then it's very difficult to go down because your
feet get inside. Yeah.
You know?
So the biggest challenges are like scree and boulders on the HRP. I would say because it's just you need to get used to how to walk that. There's a certain technique. Right? For example, if you go scree, like especially if it's like down, you need to do all like small steps or like really fast so you stay safe, right? So you don't put too much energy on the foot. That's very important. And this is a certain technique. And then with the boulders, you need to have this technique that you need to step exactly on the flat parts. And you need to know exactly, and you need to hit them really, really exact. And if you are too slow in that, then it can take you forever if you don't know that to get through these fields. So you need to plan that if you are not used to it. But people can learn it after like a year or so, like one season. I think most people can learn it. And
that's what I actually didn't know how to do, and then I learned, and then we became faster. In the beginning years, we were slower because of that.
Yes, Veronica, Andrea. For me, I happened the same. That maybe at the end of my trip, I learned how to walk in those type of terrain. Now, in this video, I need to ask you something. Here I can see a lot of sheep. What happened? That before I met you, I mean, when I was hiking from Batere to Cortalets, I found a lot of sheep and a huge sign that says, be aware of huge dogs, that they are faster the sheep. And in fact, I just found two huge white dogs that started ladrando. Andrea, ¿cómo se dice ladrando en inglés? Perdón, Verónica, ¿cómo se dice ladrando? Barking, exactly. And I was really shitting in my pants. At the end, it was okay, nothing happened. So, and I saw you were camping in the middle of the sheep. So, I mean,
that's what actually next to Benasca, right?
Yes, but maybe it's in this video. There is one video where the dog is there.
Yeah, the dog.
And the dog sat right next to our thing.
The whole time.
It was like, well, I mean, what do? We have to say that. What we do.
So and we knew that people say it all the time. Be very afraid of these dogs because these dogs are not,
we have never had one issue with one dog.
No.
Just at one time where maybe two times where the dogs actually like went and sat, and they sat in the tent like if we were the owners,
No way.
Very close to the tent, maybe because it blocks the wind or something. I don't know.
Oh my
So what do we
basically-
do? We just sit
Yeah.
inside the tent and wait.
So what happens is, and this is really, it's so fascinating how this works, right? So these dogs and the shepherders, they come and they get the sheep to a certain place, and then they never stay for a super long time, you know. So you know
Yeah.
they will leave. So that's actually the good thing, right? So
Yeah,
they
they
just
go
came.
on.
They weren't there in the
Yeah.
minute. They always like just come through and then they leave again. Same thing with the cows. But the cows, they don't need any shepherd. The cows do that by themselves.
Yeah,
And
it's true. Yeah.
they actually came back the next day for at that spot for breakfast. So they came and then they left again. So they came back. They came back again. That was their breakfast spot, and then they left again.
Andrea, I don't know how to say this in English, so I will say in Spanish, and then Veronica, please translate it to him.
Yes.
So as Andrea is explaining everything, yo siento que él es como San Francisco de Asís, que era el amante de todos los animales. Todos los animales siempre van a San Francisco de Asís y todos van ahora donde Andreas. Explícale eso en inglés, Verónica.
That he feels like you know who is San Francisco or San Francis of Assis? Yeah. It was a saint that loved animals. And he became a saint because I think he caught
he's a
parrot
saint, yeah.
or something from animals.
Yeah. Oh.
So it seems to him that you love animals,
Yeah.
but not as pets. We don't
No,
have
that's-
pets.
Okay.
But
Just
he
in the
really
moment.
likes animals. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Andrea, Veronica, it should be a technical answer, but this is because I want to learn myself. If you're in a shelter with full of people, you turn on your red light, so the
Yes,
other
yes.
one doesn't get away. But you're alone in the mountain. Can you please explain me where you were using the flashlight in red and what you were doing with a book map and breaking and tearing down the paper? What is happening here?
We are a little bit OCD. That's what is happening. But, okay, you tell us.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I can say. So what we believe is like, well, you know this, like the blue light will affect your sleeping, right? So especially
and your eyesight.
and your eyes.
Yeah,
So,
and it's true. It's true.
so like we want to not affect too much our sleeping because we really want to be going to bed and sleep during the dark hours when we are in the mountains, right?
Okay.
So that's why
I have a
yeah, so like the moment that is the evening, unless we need something that you can really not see, we would always use a red light.
Okay.
And then
You know
the tearing away of the book,
exactly because we're tearing the sheet apart. What happened with the book?
So we use this guidebook,
Yeah.
and then what we do is we take each
Okay.
yeah, so each page that we're going to use for that day, we're not going to be bringing the book out because it's inconvenient, you know.
Oh,
So
I got
like,
it.
imagine if there is wind or you're in
So
a
we reduce weight. We
uncomfortable-
basically throw away the pages we have used.
Well, no, we keep them in the house, but yeah, so
Yeah.
depending on the situation, sometimes a lot of times Andreas keeps like the 2 pages of that day inside his pocket, so he can take them out, and this is why we were cutting that out.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you see that it have a sense. I was wondering what was happening here. Now,
Yeah.
could you tell me where this is because it's so incredible? Also, it looks like a ghost or horror movie, but I love it. It's incredible what we are seeing right now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. While Andreas looks for the GPS exactly, and this is an old train path, whatever. And in the guide, this book that we're showing you, it says that you have to find a green stairs. I don't even remember. I think the green stairs. Green door. So we have to walk, and you see there is no visibility. I was so afraid. You have no idea. That's why like, when he's passing by, I'm like putting myself away to the wall because I was just shitting. Like I couldn't. The muscles of my legs were not moving. I was moving very slow because I was so scared.
That was in 2017.
No, I think it's 20. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, but
No.
yes, in some part. I don't know, but it's an old mine.
But you need to enter through that door?
No, not that one. There is not
That was
that
the wrong.
one.
That was
a wrong door.
We found the red door like 3 times, and it took us a long time until it finally came. So that's one of these things.
Yeah. We end up walking a lot before we figure out what the right path is.
Oh my
But
God.
it's fascinating.
It's like I said, it looks like a horror movie, or that you think that someone will going to appear there and kill you. Or I don't know. It was
Like that's what I'm saying. This is like my thing with the robbers. You know? When I feel like no one is gonna rob you here.
Yes, it's true. It's true, more or less. And here, wow, this path, it's incredible, because you look like you will fall down from the cliff, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is amazing, but also scary, I have to say. And
Yeah,
that time, Andreas, you make a video of me walking this. This is a moment I want you to make a video of me doing this. Yeah.
Yes, really, for sure. Impressive. Okay, let's listen here.
Today sucks. Oh, it's too long.
Because this is the first time that I saw you, the both of you, tired, exhausted, and Andrea, in the few moments that Andrea appears, Andrea is always like smiling, like everything under control. And when I saw Andrea's face here, I said, wow, this is getting bad. So let's listen.
Okay, let's be cool. Thank you for listening. This is the call.
I have chocolate on my mouth.
Very big call. Here, this is the lake where we are going to go. Wait, what? Yes. And wait.
It's like, wait, don't go. Wait for me. Okay, what happened here? What what's really happening, Andrea? Because your face doesn't look so good.
Yeah, it was really rough. We just had been walking all day, and it was one of these things where your feet hurt. After like 7-8 hours, your feet start to hurt, like really literally they hurt. You cannot go anymore, and then you cannot wait until you finally can put your tent somewhere. And then there's always like this sort of a struggle. So you try to find the tent site, but at the same time you're kind of like hangry and tired, and it's like always like this. Okay, do we go the extra mile to find a really amazing campsite?
This day there was, you can see on the weather that it was getting stormy.
Yes.
So we needed to make sure that we arrive at this tent place, at this refuge, and the refuge was in front of that lake, whatever. And then, so basically what we wanted to make sure was that we were there, and it was quite late in the day during that time. And so, it ended up being more time than we actually expected. So we were very exhausted. And funny thing is that after that, the whole night was stormy.
Yeah.
And this is a night that I was telling you that that the bottles flew away.
Yeah.
And
okay. Yeah. So it's normal. So Andreas and Veronica, we just got to the end of the interview, but I have to make you two questions. Before say goodbye. The first one, if you need to do it again after, I mean, the last time that you did it, that is when we met that night, you learned it a lot and you changed many things. But if you need to do the HRP again, what you make different? I mean, Andrea, Veronica, what you need to do different to do it better? What your answer should be? What you can do it better or different? Or do you think that in your last hike you just mastered the art of the HRP?
No. I think there is always a room to improve, and actually, as a matter of fact, we when we are walking, I just started like thinking, oh, next time we should do this instead. And then I make a video, a voice message on my phone, because I want to remember for next year. So then what we do is at the end of the year, at the end of the trip, we type of our ideas and we make a video, so we know for next year what we want to improve.
Yeah, so we always make this video where we basically take a video of each other, like at the end, where we talk about, okay, this is how we packed the backpack, these were the problems, these were
that's so good.
and this is how much food we need, this is how much alcohol we need, all these things that you wouldn't remember otherwise. And
also from places. So like this place we didn't like, this place we like, and so on.
Yeah. And so that's, I think that's a good thing for people to do if you want to improve, you really want to learn from your experience.
Because you don't remember. Yeah, you don't remember.
Okay. And I think we did a pretty good job in terms of like our packing and everything, and we have pretty good equipment now. I think we're pretty much like all of that is really great.
But the thing, and not because everything is equipment or anything, but we are really much into like not having to sweat a lot, like walk comfortably so that we can enjoy,
Okay, because, I got it. Okay, I got it. And my second question is, Andrea and Veronica, how the HRP change your life? For example, let me give you a few answers from my past guests. They said that they have the GR10, the GR11. That is what they did. The reason of hike in the morning without not knowing where you're going to place your tent, how you're going to eat, it make you more mature. And when you came to the civilization again, you realize that there's that what you have here, that your bed, your hot water, you give it as a granted in your normal life, and then you realize how important is small things. So, and everybody said that we just felt more mature and we see the world different. In your case, Veronica, Andrea, how the HRP change your life? Or if you felt that it changed your life or your point of view in some place, in some moment?
You can go first.
Small things are important. You just appreciate the small things much more. Especially this last time, like water is like such an amazing substance, and if you don't have water, it takes no time until you're like in really, really big trouble, and you appreciate that, and you also appreciate how amazing nature is. And then of course it doesn't have to be doesn't have to be clear like in the beginning of the day what you're going to do. It will be fine.
Okay.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah,
it's true. And you, Veronica?
True that like you really need little to survive in theory, like everything what you like you said, everything we have else is extra. But also because we do it as a couple, I think it really, even though like some days we're like punching each other, it really like bring us very close together because we make this experience together, like we're doing everything.
Yeah,
I don't know how close you are to your wife, but I'm pretty sure you are not walking and sleeping.
For example,
and everything at the same time during the whole year. So this, like being bored together.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Like being bored together is something that you don't get to do in normal life, and to me,
it's true, Veronica.
Very strong.
Remember reading the labels?
Yeah, so like we always make fun of this, like it was this year where normally we would like bring a magazine on the phone or something to read.
Okay.
At night, only on the tent or something. But there was this year that we didn't do it, we didn't download, it was so wrong, whatever. So we didn't have anything to read, imagine anything to do. So it was like 7 p.m. night. At that point, we were in September or something. So it was like a lot of time on the tent without anything to do.
Oh
so
my God.
I started reading the labels of like the food.
The labels. That's what you did. All of them.
And the rest of it, like looking at me, they're like, what are you reading? And I'm like, labels.
Oh my God. You're spending your time reading, right, teacher Andrea? That you have to read This is what you have to tell to your students. You have to read. You have to read.
I learned how to set up the tent better because I read the label of the tent,
and
which I
also,
never read before.
and
You
also like
see?
extreme situations bring you closer together. There was this one situation when basically our tent almost flew away, and it was basically we hadn't set it up yet. It wasn't attached to the ground yet, and then all of a sudden, you know how the under tent, the inner tent, if it's like open, it's like basically a big balloon. So that the wind took it away, and we were already in our flip flops. So we had to like run after the tent up the mountain. Otherwise, you would have been lost. Like we would have been exposed to the elements. And we were like in the middle of nowhere, and it was really, really extreme situations. So basically, like you depend on that stuff, you know, and you need to be very careful. So that also makes you grow together.
Yeah. So you have to like solve the issue together.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Andrea! I don't want to know what will happen if you miss that with the wind. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Veronica, Andrea, I know I told you that we're in the 2, but it's gonna be 3. It's gonna be 3 questions, and the third one, and this is the last one. I have 5 more minutes. Okay, no, 4 minutes. Okay, Andrea, Veronica, did you have any goals or paranormal activity? Don't answer me. Let me tell you. All my guests, I had made the same question. And at the beginning, they say, okay, no. But then they realize and they start talking. I will tell you the experience of my past guests that I made an interview. In my channel, you take a look, thanks God, I have interviewed many important people. And there's an important writer. She's a lady here in Spain, and I asked her, "Do you have any paranormal activity?" She said, "No." And they say, "Well, okay, Jordi, yeah, I had one." She was doing the GR11, and I was in the middle of the Pyrenees. No one was. There's no construction near me, and I just go to sleep with my friends in the tent. And like 2-3 o'clock in the night, I heard like una pala de construcción, Verónica. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Pala.
A shovel. A shovel.
Okay, a shovel. I like, and she wake up. She's like, "What? Is this a construction or maybe a farmer at 2-3 o'clock in the morning?" But anyway, I will continue sleeping. And when they wake up the next morning, there's no hole here. What was that sound? And the two of them just heard it. Another story. I have interviewed here in my channel the founder of a very important website. It's called travesiapirenaica.com. The founder, I interviewed them, and they're very important. And I asked the same question, and he said, "No, well, no." And then he said, "You know what, Jordi? I know many people will see interview because it's gonna be live, but I don't care. I will tell you my story. I was near Monte Perdido. It was night, and we were 5 of us, and we're going down from Monte Perdido. That is very dangerous. And we were in a collado, in a col. I don't know how to say in English, but between 2 mountains. Okay, and it was night, and the 5 of us saw a spectrum, a ghost, and we were like, "What? Are we seeing what we are seeing?" And the 5 of us, yes. Something like you would start going down running and say, "No, we're gonna kill yourself." And they say, and we realize that. Here in my channel, I've interviewed the director of one career, I don't remember, from the Salzburg University in Austria. And she said the same, "Jordi, we are live, but I don't care. I will tell you my story." And she said, "I was hiking, but not in the J11. I was hiking in Norway. In the Norway mountains, I was alone. And one night, I just put my tent. There's no fog. I just put my tent, but during the night, I just started hearing like Viking song, Viking chant." And she said, "I'm in the middle of nowhere, where that Viking chant is." And when she goes out from the tent, and that interview is in my channel, you can take a look. And it was full of fog, a dense fog, that when she goes out and she turned away, she cannot see her tent, and she was like kind of lost for a few minutes until she found it. But what happened? She said, "I was looking for this Viking chant where it is." I said, "No, that's my imagination." And she went into the tent again, but the chant started louder and louder. So she went out again, and she never knew what was happening. And there's no people not here. What happened? There's another one that he said. In the GR11, the HRP doesn't pass that way, but the GR11 goes through a town that is a ghost town. And when I mean ghost town, that is abandoned, nobody live there, and that, and everything is destroyed. And when he crossed the town, he said, "I won't sleep here. I want to climb that mountain because I won't live in this town." And he said, "Jordi, everything was destroyed. So I just put my tent in the top of the hill, but I can see in the night the town." And suddenly I start seeing a huge light that was coming out from the destroyed church. And I was scared. I was shitting my pants. So like then, all of my guests have a paranormal ghost activity. So my question is, did you have any story that you want to share with me? No.
I mean, I just saw, the first night when we went outside this year, we always go outside for peeing, of course. And the amazing thing is obviously the night sky is like so clear that as you never see it before. It's like an amazing night sky, right? And I saw probably the biggest meteorite, the biggest star. What's it called? Anyway, the shooting star I've ever seen in my life. So I mean, that's not paranormal, but that was the thing I remember right now.
Yeah, it's something not normal. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, I believe you.
I mean, like what the only paranormal was at war.
Well, at least you have an experience. Well,
yeah.
I have to say, Andrea, but
anything no, like I think I would remember because I kind of stuff you wouldn't forget.
Don't worry. If you remember, Veronica, we can make another live. But
yes.
Andrea, Veronica, I have to tell you that I was talking the whole day and yesterday to Ulrich, my partner, where we hike, and she told me she will enter. But now she had an issue and she cannot. So she had to say, I'm sorry. But we were arranged. He wanted to enter to say hello. But guys, I have to say thank you so much. I'm so glad to meet you. You are such a nice person. If someday you came to Barcelona, you have a house here, let me know. I would love to see you. And why not that we can share our path away. Veronica, to you, I will be contacting you very soon because of my new brands that will be launching in the US. So I will put you in. We will be in contact. Andrea, looking forward to meet you again. You are such a nice person, always smiling like that. Even that you ate everything that night because you ate a lot. But it was so nice. It was so nice to see you that day.
It's always making the competition who eats more at the table.
It's always like
Exactly.
the teenager at the table is always the competition. Yes, and always I can always keep up with them. Yes.
No. Yeah, for sure. So please don't go. Let me put this video that I will end at the end of the video. Give me 1 second and let us see you. Let's see it again. 1 second.
can see vineyards. Daniel is quite in front of us. Hey, we made it. Veronica?
On Andrea's birthday.
Yes, and we are almost dead, but we as you can see behind us.
Andrea, Veronica, Andrea, the script was that, and I mean, after you just talk, I need to end this stream, right? But it's because, but I need to tell you this. You were trying to do this hike since 2015. You just ended in a heat wave. I mean, you just finished what you just did back when it started in 2015. I mean, no, I am Caribbean. I am Latin. Well, you're Latin, Veronica, also. But at that moment, you should be like screaming, yeah, we finished, yeah, man. And you were like, we finished.
Well, listen,
I know
we have been living in Germany for 3-4 years now, so our emotions have dwindled.
I mean,
that day was so hot. It was so hot. We almost it was really, really. It was like it felt like 42, I think, and it was 38 or something. It was so brutal.
Drinking hot water because at that point the
water was hot. We were absolutely
okay. But at the end, inside of you, you were like jumping from happiness. Right?
Yes. We took so many photos on like on the thing that says year 10, and you were like, this is not year 10, HRP, whatever. Then go into the water, and then we couldn't put this in here because we were a little bit naked. So...
No, it was really brutal that day because we were basically going from one shade to the next, and in between the shades, we had to like make sure we don't spend too much time to not get a heat stroke. It was very, very close to dangerous.
Yeah, I know. Been there. Okay, anyway, people, thank you so much for being here. Have a great night, and it was a pleasure. Please don't go. Let me